Good day, my name is Wilma Cacayan. So for today's video, I will tackle about the law regulating transportation establishment, the chapter 7. The learning objectives identify the laws affecting the transportation establishment. Next is identify the rights of passenger of commercial transportation and explain the relevance of this law to the promotion of tourism in the country. For this chapter, we'll tackle about the law on common carriers. So, Article 1732, common carriers are person, corporation, or firm or association engaged in the business of carrying, transporting passenger or by the land, water, or air for compensation, offering their services to the public. So, Article 1732 of the Civil Code of the Philippines pertains to the responsibilities and liabilities of the common carriers. A common carrier is defined as the only person, corporation, firm, or association engaged in the business of carrying or transporting passenger or good for compensation. So, according to Article 1732, common carrier are bound to observe extraordinary diligence in the vigilance over the goods and for the safety of the passenger or transported by them. So, according to all circumstances of each case, they are also required to use the utmost diligence of very cautious person with due regard for all their circumstances in order to prevent any loss or damage to the goods and to ensure a safety of the passenger. In simple terms, common carrier have higher level of responsibility compared to ordinary individual or entities when it comes to carrying passenger or goods. So they are expected to take all necessary precautions to ensure the safety and security of what they are transporting and can be held liable for any loss, damage, or injury that may occur during transport. So, next is the Article 1733. So, common carriers from nature of their business and for reason of public policy. So, Article 1733 of the Civil Code state the common carriers from the nature of their business and for reason of public policy are bound to observe extraordinary diligence in the vigilance over the goods of and for the safety for the passenger transported by them. So, according to all the circumstances of each case, this means that common carrier like bus companies, airlines, and shipping companies have heightened responsibility to ensure the safety of their passenger and the goods they transport, and this is also due to the nature of their business and the public trust they hold. So, this provision emphasizes the importance of prioritizing safety and vigilance in their operation. The extraordinary diligence referred to in the article is a higher standard of care, meaning of this carrier must go above and beyond to ensure safety and vigilance. They must consider all circumstances of each case, implying that they must be aware of and prepared for a wide range of potential situations. The next is the Article 179. 179 of the Civil Code state that common carriers are liable for the death or injuries to passenger through the negligence of willful acts of the former employees, although such as employee may have acted beyond the scope and their authority in violation of their orders of the common carriers. These provisions means that common carriers such as bus companies and airlines are responsible for the action of their employee even if those actions are outside the scope of their employee or against company order. In essence, if an employer or a common carrier acts negligently or intentionally or causes harm or passenger, the carrier can be held legally responsible. This is significantly responsibility and underscores the importance of proper employee training and oversight in this industry. There are the laws regulating transportation establishment. Number one is the nature of airline, bus, shipping tickets and regulation of transportation business, regulation of air transport business and registration of aircrafts, regulation of the shipping industry, authority to operate, regulation of the land transportation, accreditation of transportation vehicles by the department, and standard requirement for tourist and land transit vehicles and standard requirement for tourist water transport vessels and standard for requirement for tourist transport. So, airline, bus, and shipping tickets are essentially contracts between the carrier and the passenger. They grant the passenger the right to be transported from one location to another within a specified time frame. So, airline tickets, the nature of the airline industry, involves providing air transport services to paying customer and business partner. These services are extended to both human travelers and cargo. The ticket you purchase is a guarantee of this service subject to the terms and conditions specified by the airlines. Bus tickets is similar to airline tickets, but bus tickets are also contract of carriage. They provide the passenger with the right to be transported from the one place to another on the bus. And the shipping tickets, in the context of passenger transport, shipping tickets work in the same way as the airline and the bus tickets, and they are contract between the passenger and the shipping company, granting the passenger the right to travel from one location and another by sea. So, in all these cases, the tickets serve as proof of the agreement between the passenger and the carrier, and the outlines the details of the journey, including the departure and the arrival location, the date and the time of the travel, and the terms and condition of the carriage. Next is the transportation business. Transportation business is heavily regulated to ensure safety, efficiency, and the fairness of the industry. So, here's some general aspect of this regulation. There are the licensing and safety standards and environment regulation and labor laws. So, this regulation can vary widely depending on the specific type of transportation business and jurisdiction in which it operates. It's crucial for business in this industry to be aware and understand the regulation that apply to them and ensure that we operating legally and ethically. The next is the air transportation. Air transportation business are subject to numerous regulations to ensure safety, efficiency, and compliance with international standard. So here are some of the key aspects of the regulation. So one is the licensing and certification. So air transportation business are required to hold valid license or certificate to operate. And next is the safety standard. Air transport Air transportation business must adhere to strict safety standards. They relate to aircraft maintenance, crew training, flight and operation, and more. Next is the dangerous goods regulation. So, in the international air, air transportation provides dangerous goods regulation, which helps business classify, mark, pack, label, and document dangerous. So this regulation ensured that air transportation business operates safely, responsibly, and in a manner that promotes the well-being passenger, employees, and the environment. Next is the registration of an aircraft is a process by which aircraft is officially documented and recognized by the relevant aviation authorities. So, the purpose of the registration aircraft serve as a unique identifier for each aircraft, and it indicates the country of jurisdiction in which the aircraft is registered and functions similarly to a license plate for automobiles or ship registration for vessels. Next is the certificate and registration. Once the registration process is complete, the aircraft owner or operator process is issued a certificate of registration. So this document serves as the proof of the aircraft registration. So the importance of the aircraft registration is essential for legal compliance, safety, and operational purposes. It allows authorities to track and monitor Aircraft ensure compliance with regulation, enables identification in case of accident or incident, and it facilitates proper taxation and insurance coverage. So it is important for aircraft owners and operators to understand the registration requirement and specific process to their country or jurisdiction to ensure compliance with the applicable regulation. The next is the shipping industry. So it is subject to various regulations to ensure safety, environmental protection, and fair practices. So here are some aspects of the regulation in the shipping industry. Number one is the International Maritime Organization. Next is the Environmental Organization and Global Labor Regulation and Customs and Trade Regulation. So it is important for shipping companies to comply with this regulation to ensure safe and sustainable operation to protect the environment and maintain good industry practices. Next is the Authority to Operate, or ATO, refers to a formal declaration or permission granted by designated approving authority that allows an IT system, product, or organization to operate with other existing system or network. So, obtaining an ATO or authority to operate is a crucial or demonstrate that the system is organization has met the necessary security and operational standard. ATO is not limited to IT system alone. So in other contexts such as corporate governance, authority to operate may refer to the delegation of authority to approve certain business decision and transaction. So for example, the board of directors may have the authority to approve acquisition, investment, and capital expenditures. So the concept of the authority to operate signifies the authorization and the approval granted to entity or system to carry out a specific operation, whether in the realm of IT, corporate governance, or whether regulated industry. The next is the land transportation. The land transportation industry is regulated to ensure safety, efficiency, and compliance with the relevant laws and standards. So, here are some aspects of regulation in land transportation: licensing and registration, vehicle standard, driving regulation, safety and traffic regulation, and public transport regulation. So, the specific regulation and requirements may have vary depending on the country or jurisdiction. It's important for land and transport operators, drivers, and passengers to be aware of and comply with this regulation to ensure a safety efficient transportation operation. Next is the Department of the Tourism in the Philippines, or the accreditation for transportation vehicles that are involved in the providing services to tourists. So, the purpose of accreditation is a certification issued by the Department of the Tourism to recognize tourism enterprises that have complied with the minimum standard for the operation of the tourism facilities and services. So the benefits of accreditation by the DOT brings several benefits to the transportation vehicle operator. So it is enhanced credibility and the reputation of the business, promotes consumer and confidence, and may provide access to certain privilege and opportunities within the tourism in the industry. So it is important for transportation vehicles operate to follow the guidance and requirements set by Department of the Tourism. The next is the standard requirement for tourist land transport vehicles may vary depending on the country or jurisdiction. So, in Singapore, the Land Transport Authority has implemented regulation and licensing requirement for the various mode of transport. So, in the Philippines, the Department of the Tourism has established standard requirement for tourist land transport vehicles. So these requirements include registered capacity, which means that operator can only apply for accreditation for a specific number of passengers based on the vehicle capacity. So it is important for It is important for operators of tourist and land transport vehicles to familiarize themselves with the specific requirements and guidelines set by the respective authorities in their country or the jurisdiction. The next is the standard of requirement tourist for tourist water vessels may vary depending on the country of the jurisdiction. So tourist water transport vessels are the typically required to meet a specific safety standard, includes the appropriate life-saving and firefighting equipment. It is important to operate the tourist water and the transport vessel to familiarize themselves with the specific requirements. Then last is the standard requirement for tourist air transport may there may vary depending on the country, that there are safety regulation and security measures and licensing certification and operation standard. It is important for airlines and passengers to stay updated on the latest regulation, travels advisories, and requirements issued by the relevant aviation authorities and health authorities in order to comply with the standard and ensure or the safety smooth travel experience.